Hi and welcome to this free webinar. My name's Lois Francis, and over the course of the next few minutes I'm going to be chatting to you about why our diets have such an impact on our state of health and our well-being. First of all, I'd like to invite you to think about what good health actually means to you. Do you rely on medication to ward off problems such as high blood pressure or high cholesterol levels? Do you suffer from minor aches and pains, but you're kind of putting that down to being normal, natural for your age? And do you just feel all right, kind of vertically ill? You're not poorly enough to go to the doctors, but you're certainly not feeling 100%. But you're accepting all this as normal and that you're reasonably healthy. Where that contrasts with my definition of good health, which is all about waking up in the morning feeling full of energy and not being dependent on medication, no aches and pains, and actually really having the capacity to enjoy your life. So I have to ask, why are we all getting sicker? We're living longer, and so we seem to see far more degenerative diseases, what we might call the diseases of old age, such as Alzheimer's, heart problems, high blood pressure. We certainly seem to have a lot more stress in our lives, and that can be stress from relationships, from our jobs, our finances. We're often dependent upon our doctor's advice, and we're told that we should take statins to lower cholesterol, drugs to get our blood pressure down, but rarely are we given advice on what we should be eating and putting in our bodies to help to make us well. And there's a lot more pollution in our environment and in our food, and that challenges our health and our bodies to get rid of the poisons which are in pollution. And there are huge changes in our diets from what we've evolved to eat, and our bodies quite simply are not coping very well with this onslaught. And of course we take less activity nowadays, we do less exercise, and that's impacting upon our strength, not just of our bones but our muscles and also our hearts. And as a result of all of this, we're actually less fit and heavier than we used to be. So I want to blow the myth that as you get older, it means you will automatically experience failing health, put on weight, or need medications to keep you well. In fact, no matter how old you are, what your current health and fitness levels are, you can make vast improvements by getting your diet right, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. Since around 1980, the diet industry and the medical profession has focused on low-fat diets as being the way to lose weight. And fat has been demonised, even though it's actually vital to our health. In 1980, around about 42% of our calorie intake came from fat, and that's gone down to about 35% in the present day. So logic says we should all be losing weight, we should all be healthier, the incidence of diabetes and heart disease should be going down, but actually the reverse is true. The incidence of obesity has gone up from 10% of the population to now around 40%. And the main problem is that we've moved so far away from the diet that we're genetically programmed to thrive on. Maybe you've been told by your doctor that you need to lose weight. Maybe you've put weight on over weeks, months, or even years, but you'd still kind of like it all to go pretty quickly. So you go on a diet. You see it as a short-term fix, and you reduce your calories, you reduce your fat intake. But the problem is that your body then is deprived of the food that it needs to survive and thrive, and it slows down your metabolism so that you burn off food more slowly. In the early days of a diet, you do lose weight quite quickly, and it's because your body's going to the nearest available source of energy, and that's the glucose that's stored in muscles. Now that glucose is held in water and it's actually water that you're losing rather than fat. But you may lose some weight, or you think, yep, I can see the scales going down, I've done what I need to do, and so you go back to normal eating. But the problem then is that you put weight back on because your metabolism's been slowed down. So you think, well, that diet didn't work, I'll try another one. And you can get into a pattern of yo-yo weight loss and weight gain. And that in itself is actually really detrimental to your health. It's harmful to your metabolism, and it's much better to be at a consistent weight, even if you are overweight. So why is all of this a problem? And it's because being overweight increases the risk of lifestyle diseases. And that's because sugar has an acidic effect in the body. It creates holes in the artery walls, so your body uses cholesterol to patch them up. And that can lead to circulation problems and heart disease, high cholesterol levels, high blood pressure. Now, excess sugar also affects the way that your brain functions, interfering with normal brain chemistry, the ability to think clearly, your memory. And Patrick Holford, who is a well-known nutritionist, coined the phrase, sugar makes you stupid. But it can lead to depression, memory loss, even Alzheimer's. Now, cancer cells absolutely love an acidic, deoxygenated environment, and you can think of sugar as feeding them. So it can lead to breast cancer, particularly polycystic ovary syndrome and PMS, because of the way that the sugar imbalance is messing up your female hormones. And women with PCOS are often put on metformin to try and alleviate their symptoms. And excess sugar is so damaging to the body that it leads to premature aging of individual cells and the whole body, and of course eventually premature death. So what is an ideal diet for good health? It needs to include the three main building blocks, and that's fat, protein and carbohydrates. So you need good quality fish and seed oils, and yes, fat is actually essential for your health. You need proteins. They're the building blocks of your body. Literally, your body makes you. It replaces worn out and damaged cells using protein, and that needs to come from good quality meats and fish, nuts and seeds. And then carbohydrates, which are a source of energy. Now, most weight loss diets are far too restrictive. They either cut out completely or severely limit one of these essential food groups, and so in the long term they really just are not healthy for you, and they're not sustainable. So dieting can actually be really bad for your health. It's a massive industry that spawned lots of faddy diets which promise the earth, but they cost you your health. You've only got to go into any bookshop and you can see row upon row of books, all containing information which they say will guarantee, as you can see on this picture, the miracle carb diet. But all diets will work short term. They will give you some weight loss, but it's rarely sustained long term because you quite simply don't change your old eating habits. And yet these books very often are bestsellers, and we spend literally millions of pounds trying to find out exactly what it is that we need to do to get healthy. And we're looking for a guru, a magician, who's going to magically make our weight and our health problems disappear if we follow his or her advice. But of course that's not reality. We take months and years to put weight on, to become unhealthy. We can't expect to reverse all that in just a few weeks. And of course it's really stressful following a very restrictive diet. The stress of focusing your energy on what you're eating all the time actually makes you put on weight. It takes over your life. It disrupts your normal eating, cooking special meals for yourself. it gets too much like hard work, and so you give up. So, what is the answer? Human beings evolved to eat a diet that's rich in natural meats and fish, nuts, seeds, fruits and vegetables in season. We were hunter-gatherers whilst our bodies were evolving, and that's the kind of diet that we're designed to eat and thrive on. So no McDonald's, no pizzas, no processed, no pre-packed foods, no added sugars. And our big problem is that our diet has radically changed. So the key differences are the inclusions of grains, dairy, low-fat, high-carb foods, saturated and trans fats, refined and processed foods. Now, if the history of mankind were compressed into just 24 hours, we've only been eating grains for about 10 minutes. And we just haven't successfully adapted to cope with the high grain, high carb diet that's common in the present day. And of course, the sugar and the salt content in our diet has increased dramatically. Our bodies, quite simply, haven't evolved. We just don't do well with these kinds of foods. And they may be quick, they may be easy, they may feel satisfying short term. But all of these foods disrupt our blood sugar levels, our energy, our general health and our well-being. Now, if you're a car owner, you know that when you go to the petrol station, you've got to be aware of whether you're putting petrol or diesel into your car. And you know if you put the wrong fuel in, you're going to damage your car, you're going to get all sorts of problems. And yet we don't stop and think about whether or not we're putting the right fuel into our bodies. And of course, if you're a luxury car maker, you don't go down the scrapyard and buy any old bits of metal and think that they're going to build a beautiful, sleek looking car. And yet again, we eat, if you like, the food version of scrap metal and expect to have a sleek and healthy and super looking body. And of course, it's just not reality. So we need to think about changing things, changing our diets and giving our bodies what they are going to thrive on. So carbohydrates like bread and pasta, rice and potatoes are our main source of energy. And as I mentioned earlier, our diets have tended to become very high in this particular food group. So carbohydrates are broken down into simple sugars or glucose in the body. And we often don't realise just how much sugar there is in a processed food. And that's our big problem today. It's the hidden sugars in foods. And we often trust brand names as being healthy. But on the next slide, I'm going to give you a reality check. So if we think about where all this sugar comes from, well, what about your breakfast? Do you have, for instance, cornflakes or some muesli? You'll see that it can be as high as 38% sugar, and that is really far too high. Weight Watchers are the ones that really get me. As you can see, their products range from 29% to 45% sugar, and again, really not healthy. If you compare it to Scott's porridge oats, which make a really great and healthy breakfast, particularly when you put some seeds, some nuts and some blueberries with them, they are less than 2% sugar. And that is brilliant because they're going to give you a good steady sustained release of energy without causing problems. Now, sugar gets hidden in all sorts of unlikely places. Did you know that it can be in gravy, tomato ketchup, brown sauce? And of course you'll expect it in chocolate, but did you know that more than half of a chocolate bar is sugar? And cola, 35 grams of sugar in each small can. And if you think that 5 grams per teaspoon, it means you're getting 7 teaspoons of sugar in every can. And all that surplus sugar has to be dealt with, it has to go somewhere, and it gets turned into fat. So keeping blood sugar levels stable is the key to losing weight. That will help to reduce your risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, even arthritis. So steady rise and fall is what we aim for, and the optimum range is highlighted green. And this keeps your energy levels really stable through the day. So that steady rise and fall within the optimum range will keep you feeling energized, and it will keep you good. And did you know that at any one time you only need 2 teaspoons of glucose in your bloodstream to supply all your energy needs? Now, in normal circumstances, if your blood sugar levels are staying within this healthy range, insulin, which you may have heard of, has the job of delivering glucose to the cells so that they can burn it and release energy. So what happens when there's too much sugar in the bloodstream, as shown by this red line? If you bear in mind that excess sugar in your bloodstream is potentially dangerous to your organs, your heart, your eyes, so your body's got to get rid of it, it's got to do something with it. And so it releases a lot more insulin to take that surplus sugar out of harm's way, and it dumps it into fat stores. And that's where you can get to feel a bit tired, irritable, maybe you lose concentration, you get headachy, and I describe it as feeling a bit flaky. I know if I get to that state, then I haven't eaten correctly. But this is where many people will reach for a sugary snack or a drink to give them a boost of energy. And that can work for a brief period until more insulin is released, and then their energy levels dip again. Erratic eating patterns, having too many refined carbs or sugary drinks or caffeine, can lead to yo-yo swings in your blood sugar levels. Now, eventually, your body can begin to ignore the messages of insulin, and it's termed insulin resistance. It doesn't take the excess sugar out of the blood, and that in turn can lead to type 2 diabetes. And of course, your body is constantly storing fat when you're getting these yo-yo levels. And you can feel quite poorly when all this is going on, energy levels fluctuating, concentration and mood affected. It's impossible to lose weight, and this can have a knock-on effect on your heart and on your whole cardiovascular system. So keeping blood sugar levels stable means that there are no fat storing dips. There's no challenges to insulin. It does its job effectively, and what will happen is that you will actually go into fat burning mode. So if you need to lose weight, you'll find that it will just melt away almost effortlessly. And that's because your metabolism is increased. Your fat's burned off, you've got lots of energy to do everything that you want to do. And of course, it also means then that you're less at risk for diabetes, for heart problems, and your hormone levels can also stay under control. So to control blood sugar levels, we do need to control our carb intake, and we need to think about both the quality and the quantity of what we're eating. And glycemic load, or GL, is a way of measuring how much available sugar is in a food and how fast it will hit your bloodstream. So having low GL foods keep your blood sugar levels stable and give you that steady, sustained release of energy that I've been talking about. And what we think about with our diet plan is, if you imagine that this is a plate of food, we want to see around about a quarter of it as lean proteins, about half as salads, vegetables that grow above the ground, and about a quarter of your plate with starchy carbs. And we aim to keep those to 7 GL. And what we suggest is that you have 3 main meals plus 2 snacks a day, because remember, what we're aiming for is keeping that blood sugar level stable. So keeping to these proportions gives your body exactly what it needs for energy, for tissue repair. It gives you all the fibre you need, it gives you vitamins, minerals, and it puts you into fat burning mode. So knowing the GL value of your carbohydrate foods is the key to success. So could blood sugar imbalance be the reason why you can't lose weight, get your cholesterol levels down, your blood pressure under control, or you're often feeling tired and generally unwell? If you look below the video, you'll see a link to a brief questionnaire, and I suggest that you pause the video now and complete the health, the energy and blood sugar questionnaires. And please do stop the video and do this because it can be very revealing. So when you've completed the questionnaires, added up your scores, come back and restart. So for the health questionnaire, did you score 15 or more? Optimal is actually 14 or less. And on the energy and blood sugar, did you score 17 or more? And the optimal here is 16 or less. So it can be a bit of an eye-opener for people, and it's not unusual to score in the 30s on these questionnaires. You're not on your own if you did. But we can help you to take control of your blood sugar, regain control of your weight and your energy levels. So the key difference between the good health diet and weight loss diets is that we are going to focus on eating the foods that your body thrives on, eliminating the junk, changing eating habits, and adopting a healthier and nutritious way of eating that becomes your normal diet forever. And it's really all about moving away from a processed, convenient food diet and getting back to the kinds of foods that our bodies actually do best on and crave. You know, food tastes good because we are meant to enjoy it. But how and why we eat is just as important as what we eat. So meal times should be times when you can relax, have time with your family or take a break from work. Maybe you're sharing your day, you're chatting with people, just enjoying being together, feeling relaxed and eating healthy and nutritious food. So rushing your food, eating on the run or while you're watching TV can lead to indigestion and heartburn. Now, habits are learned early in life and they tend to carry on through with us. So poor food choices and poor eating habits can lead to digestive problems. You may suffer from acid indigestion, reflux and inability to digest properly, food intolerances or even candida. And this is all about the choices that you're making with what you eat, but also how you eat. So when people change their eating patterns and they adopt what we teach in the Good Health Diet, they find that it's a really enjoyable experience. As these comments say, these are normal foods the whole family can enjoy. Energy levels improve, people feel better. And of course we don't just look at weight loss, but we look at other health factors. And finally, couldn't believe that losing weight and getting healthier would be so enjoyable. So bearing all of this in mind, we have created the Good Health Diet program, and it really is a program that works for you and for your life. Now, we do understand that you're busy, but you want a program that gives you good, solid information that you can use from day one and that you can access when it works for you. And it may be that you go to work and you don't want to go out to a class, especially one that just talks about how much weight everyone has lost, but you do want some personalised support and to be able to get answers to questions when they come up. So our flagship program is the Good Health Diet online program, and we're really proud of what we have on offer here because we believe that it's going to give you everything that you need to succeed. We'll teach you how to get the basics of your diet right so that you make sure that you have all the vital foods that are necessary for great health and vitality. We'll talk to you about the importance of listening to your body and accessing your inner wisdom. The diet saboteurs which can wreck your health and the superfoods, which can easily be included in your everyday diet. We'll show you how you can avoid self-sabotage and get what you really want in life, and why stress is so detrimental to your health and what you can do about it. And of course, we're going to teach you how you can stay healthy for life and never worry about your weight, cholesterol problems, or any other health issues. So we do this by 6 weeks of internet videos, which walk you through the good health diet step by step. There's the 166-page guide and recipe book, which is packed full of information and over 100 recipes to help you to get your diet right. You'll get a 30-minute one-to-one coaching call where you can have a private confidential chat with us, and we'll give you the opportunity to send in your diet diary to us and we can have a look at that for you. And you will also get weekly coaching emails. And all of this is available to you for the next 7 days at the price of just £67. So you may have heard the phrase that you are what you eat, but it should actually read you are what you eat, digest, absorb and assimilate. And for most of us, our diet may be good, but if our digestion isn't working well, then we're simply not going to get the best from our food. So we have created the Better Digestion Plan. And in the Better Digestion Plan, we talk about the basics of good digestion, how you can really get your digestive system back on side and working well for you. The best way to beat indigestion. So if you do have digestive problems, we can help you to sort those out. How to overcome candida, and managing a food intolerance. So if you've been diagnosed as having a problem with a particular food, we'll walk you through that and how to help your body to recover. And this includes a 30-minute phone consultation. And all of this is available to you for the price of £47. We do also offer the Good Health Diet Guide as a standalone ebook, and as I mentioned earlier, it's packed full of information, ideas and recipes, so you can really change your life and enjoy what you're eating. And that's on offer to you for the price of just £12. Now remember that whatever you decide, I will email you the free mini recipe book to give you a taster of the Good Health Diet way of eating. The internet programs and the ebook will be available to you for the next 7 days at the prices I've mentioned. So if you are serious about changing your life and improving your health, then use the Buy Now buttons below the video to get immediate access to the internet program of your choice. I really hope that you've enjoyed watching this video and that you've learned something from it. Please do share with your friends and recommend that they watch the video too. And I'll look forward to talking with you again at some point in the future.